Not a single airport visitor was prepared to face the sight. A sea of people dressed in purple, banners reading "We love you, Jin," and the sound of thousands of cheers echoing all the way to the parking area. Since when did the departure terminal turn into an arena of emotional farewells? This question arose in the minds of many when the wave of ARMY flooded the airport just to witness the final moments of BTS's Jin before returning to Korea. This phenomenon was not merely a crowd of passengers waiting for their flights. From dawn until late at night, the terminal was packed with fans willing to travel long distances, some from neighboring cities, others from different countries. Their goal was one: to stand in the best line of sight to see Jin, even if only for a few seconds. For them, that brief moment was worth far more than hours of sleep, travel costs, or personal comfort. The airport had temporarily increased security. Entry and exit routes were tightened, certain areas closed, and officers deployed to control the flow of people. However, none of these measures reduced the ARMY's enthusiasm. Each time news spread that Jin would soon appear, cheers split the air. Phone cameras were raised in unison, forming a forest of screens glittering under camera flashes. Many witnesses described the atmosphere as a mix between a concert, a farewell party, and a state procession. Quite a few could be seen holding back tears. Some ARMY members brought gifts, letters, or purple plushies, hoping to hand them over directly. Security officers, of course, limited interaction, but even a wave from Jin was enough to spark a wave of screams and tears. What made this moment so important? Jin had just completed a series of international activities after a long period of hiatus. For ARMY, this departure was a symbol of the end of one chapter and the start of the next in the artist's career. There was no certainty about when they could see him again outside of Korea. That uncertainty made every second of eye contact valuable, even from a distance. Several fans admitted to taking time off work, postponing exams, or even canceling family events to attend. "I know I'll only see him for a few seconds, but that's more than enough for me," said a fan from Malaysia who took an overnight flight to arrive just in time. Stories of such sacrifices spread quickly on social media, sparking solidarity among ARMY members both present and those who could only watch via unofficial live streams. When Jin finally appeared in the airport's public area, the situation changed drastically. Cheers echoed, hands waved nonstop, and some fans spontaneously hugged each other. Jin, wearing casual clothes and a black cap, walked steadily while occasionally waving his hand. His smile was brief, yet enough to make hundreds of cameras scramble to focus. The moment lasted less than a minute before he entered the security check area. However, those seconds were captured in thousands of photos and videos that instantly flooded the internet. Within hours, hashtags themed around Jin's farewell trended in various countries. A video showing his final wave at the airport was viewed millions of times before the day ended. For outsiders, this might seem excessive, but for ARMY, Jin's departure was an emotional event beyond logic. The bond built over years through music, personal messages, and online interactions had created a powerful emotional connection. A farewell like this was not just about an idol leaving a location. It was a reaffirmation of their commitment to continue supporting him no matter what. After the departure, most ARMY members remained at the airport. Some replayed video recordings over and over, while others sat together talking about concerts and memories. Even though tired faces were evident, they went home with something more than just images, a collective experience that would continue to be told. The wave of ARMY at the airport that day left a deep impression, both on those present and those watching from afar. It showed that in the modern entertainment world, the relationship between artist and fan could transcend national borders, language, and even practical reasoning. For ARMY, Jin's wave at the airport was not the end, but a sign that this story would continue. Wherever and whenever the next stage would open, we have already seen the euphoria sweeping the airport. Now the most troubling question must be asked plainly. Did this wave of ARMY truly happen as widely discussed, or was it merely a narrative inflated for sensation? And have we unknowingly helped amplify it? Are we eyewitnesses or merely witnesses of the algorithm? In fact, the material circulating and which we refer to comes from uploads on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter/X, and several other channels, but isn't a widely shared source not necessarily a valid source? If a single video shows Jin waving from afar, have the shooting angle and timestamp been verified, or is it simply assumed to be true because it fits our expectations? If a thread states final moments before returning to Korea, who is the guarantor besides our desire to believe? Let's test its reality plainly. Is there cross-source evidence consistent about the gate location, departure schedule, and appearance of airport security? Or does it all rest on captions and dramatic music? Are the background signage, announcement language, and stanchion arrangements in video A identical to those in photo B? Or are they different but overlooked because they benefit the narrative? If such inconsistencies are ignored, isn't that an open invitation for misinformation? We must also acknowledge the psychological variables at work. Parasocial relationships make distance feel close. Does that emotional closeness lower our standards of skepticism? If you are a loyal ARMY, does that closeness trigger confirmation bias, the tendency to select evidence that supports belief and ignore what is not? And if so, are we brave enough to correct ourselves in front of a noisy timeline? Platform algorithms have a simple interest: holding attention. Is the wave of ARMY at the airport the ideal story that feeds the algorithm and, in turn, amplifies our perception? If dramatic videos are prioritized for display, doesn't that create an ecosystem where the most emotional content, not the most accurate, becomes the de facto standard of truth? Are we, unknowingly, curators of sensationalism? Digital forensic checks need not be complicated. Do the upload timestamps align with the local time zone, or is there a suspicious delay indicating old content polished to appear current? Do reflections in glass, light shadows, or officer uniform patterns match the claimed airport standards, or do they point to another location? If metadata and context don't match, are we willing to call it a beautiful fabrication? Ethical questions also press. If the moment was exaggerated to harvest attention, are we willing to sacrifice accuracy for collective sentimentality? If crowding truly disrupted airport operations, does the fan sacrifice framing hide issues of public safety, other passengers' rights, and staff workload? Does romanticizing the crowd actually legitimize disorderly behavior? On the other hand, suppose the event was indeed real. Does a true fact automatically justify hyperbolic coverage? Do word choices like wave, flood, decorate, inform, or manipulate perception? If news is a bridge between reality and the public, is that bridge being reinforced with data or painted purple to look more enchanting? Responsible journalism demands evidence, clarification, and context. Have we seen an official, verifiable statement, or only compilations of testimonials quoting each other? If a viral narrative rests solely on word of mouth plus short video montages, doesn't that sound a verification alarm? If doubt is considered disruptive to fandom happiness, is that a reason to turn off skepticism? Let's turn the mirror back on ourselves. Do we click because we want to know, or because we want to feel? Do we share links to share information, or to be part of a moment that feels important? If truth requires time and caution, are we ready to delay instant gratification for accuracy that might be less dramatic? In the end, two scenarios stand opposite each other. First, the event truly happened but was framed sensationally. Second, the event was fabricated or polished from another context to attract media attention. Which do you believe, and based on what evidence? If your belief changes after reviewing the questions above, are you ready to reassess the posts you have shared? We are not asking you to reject emotion. We invite you to place emotion under the light of reason. Ask of every piece of content. Who is the source? What is their interest? When was it made? Where was it taken? Why was it published now? And how was it verified? If those 6 basic questions remain unanswered, isn't the label potential hoax more honest than historic moment? Please reflect and answer for yourself, and if you wish, share in the discussion space. Do you truly believe this event is real, or is it merely a carefully crafted fabrication to harvest clicks? Does this article, along with the TikTok, YouTube, Twitter/X videos, and other media you've seen, reflect facts? Or does it exemplify how sensationalism can masquerade as truth? Remember, truth requires verification. Viral only requires emotion. Thank you.